matched up. Good spirited practices. Some guys seem to have more energy, a lot of rest with school not being in. They're able to recover a little more, get more treatment, and good practice spirits. A lot of good special teams work today, and we'll continue on tomorrow.
Speaking of special teams, do you feel like with the past couple of games, past 3 games, some of the things that have gone right for you guys on special teams, some of the play, feel like you might be really improving there, or are you just looking at it as a game by game thing?
I think we've shown some improvement in those areas. I think we've got a lot of young kids. When I look at kickoff, punt return, there's 4, 5, 6 freshmen out there at a time. Inevitably, the more times they do it, they get better at it. The returners we got are good returners, but they've been good all year. It's just a matter of giving them an opportunity. And I think the more opportunities they get, they've done better. Obviously, Rodrigo has done better. So there's a lot of areas we've improved in. Punt team has been a struggle because we've had the injuries, and right when we thought that Marshall was coming along, it turns around on us. But those kids work hard in those groups, and I'm proud of them.
Kirby, what has Nitrez been able to do at practice this week, and what's his possibility of playing Saturday?
Yeah, he can run. He can do a lot of things. He can't do a lot of contact right now. So without being able to do the contact, he gets behind the defense. He takes all the keys. He gets all the run reads. He runs things exactly like he's out there. He's just 15, 20 yards back. So when he's doing that, it doesn't give him the ability to thump and hit as much. And until he's clear to do that, he can't. We still think he may be able to go this week, and we're hoping he can. I'm certainly hopeful that he can. We need him.
Kirby,
This is his kind of game. Sorry.
obviously you have really 2 games left. But before the season, how would you have defined success in your first year?
To get the most out of this team we possibly could.
People who look at things straight as wins and losses, do you understand that? Do you have a problem with that or whatever?
Not really. I think that the critics that are there, the fans that are there, the people that are there, they'll always do that. I mean, it's part of our profession. I certainly respect that because they've got a right to do that. But ultimately for us, we're charged with doing the best job we can each week to develop these young men and make them into better football players and show improvement on our team throughout the year. And that's what we judge ourselves on.
How much further ahead are you right now from where you were when you took over in terms of progression or time, whatever you perceive as the timeline?
Yeah, I don't know that. I think a lot of that depends on recruiting. A lot of that depends on the development of our younger players, which I think is the younger players have gotten a lot better because they played. I think early in the year, a lot of those younger players weren't ready to play, but they had to. So we'll continue to develop the guys we got on our team, and we'll continue to go out and recruit other good players.
Kirby, J.J. Green's coming here with Georgia Tech this weekend. Are these the kind of games that give coaches, a lot of thought with the transfer policies about you don't want a guy coming back going up against the, a program that he was in? And is your policy the same as it was when you talked about it publicly in March, I guess it was?
Yeah, I don't think much about the J.J. Green situation. Obviously, I wasn't involved in it as much. But yeah, the stance I've had is, not to transfer within conference and not somebody on your schedule. But certainly across the country, I think that everybody has seen some guys leave programs and they go to those places and coaches are okay with it. And I think a lot of times it's really based on the ability of the player, and sometimes that's not right either. My stance has been if you graduate, you should be able to transfer. Otherwise, you got to go somewhere else.
We've talked about Georgia Tech's offense, but what is it about Georgia Tech's defense that stands out, and what challenges do they present?
Well, first of all, Ted Roof does a great job. It's very sound fundamentally. You'll never watch one of his teams play that they are not in the right place, in the right gap, very disciplined, very organized. I've always had respect for his defenses when he played and coached at Auburn. He coached there, did a good job. I saw a lot more of them when he was in our conference. But they've got some big guys, and they do a nice job playing. A couple of their players we recruited I've known for a long time, and they continue to get better.
What kind of role is Brian Van Gorder doing for you guys? With him being a consultant, I guess, is what?
Yeah, he's just that. He's a consultant.
What all does that, responsibility-wise, does that put on his table?
A consultant can watch film, can break down tape, can watch tape, watch practice, observe, give opinions. He's a consultant.
How did that develop?
So what?
How did that develop with him?
I called him and asked him. helpful to us for this game specifically. He didn't come here until late last week and began work on Georgia Tech, and it's a part of that game planning.
Is that like a paid consultant job or something he just kind of say we help you with?
Right now, he's just consulting.
I'm sorry, you said he came here late last week, so it wasn't before Auburn?
Yeah, I don't know where that information came from. I'm not aware of it, but he got here Wednesday. Bad information out there. He's very helpful though, very knowledgeable. I have a lot of respect for Brian, always have when he coached here. And Mel knew him when he was in the NFL, so Mel and him had a good relationship. And then he coached at Notre Dame and plays the academies and also played Georgia Tech.
Did you, just out of curiosity, did you come like right after the Notre Dame situation, or did you wait a few weeks, or?
No, we considered it then, but I didn't reach out to Brian until much later in the year.
And one of your senior leaders, Greg Pike, how valuable has he been, given, he had the position change that you asked him to do, he kind of bought into that, and just also being that leadership presence on the roster?
Well, he's been great. I mean, you even forget about the position move because all I've seen him ever do is play tackle. Since I've gotten here, he's done a good job of that. He's really good at some of our toss plays. He's a good puller, a former lacrosse player. Really works hard. He's worked hard in his pass pro to improve that and be able to play out on the edge in a pass rushing conference. I mean, a conference that's got some really good pass rushers. He's had to go out there and play. So I think he's done a tremendous job, and I'm really pleased with the leadership he's given us more than anything. He provides our team with a toughness that your O-line needs to provide.
Kirby, how much bigger is your office now than it was when you shared it with Mike Felton at Valdosta? And have you kept in touch with him much during his career?
I have through recruiting. I forgot about that. Yeah, me and Pelt shared an office, and I made $9,000 a year, and I think he made like $8,000, and it was good times because it was pure and it was fun, and we were both young, so it was those were good times. I see Pelt on the road all the time. He's a first-class guy, and we always reminisce back to those days when Muschamp and Hatcher were our boss.
Sorry to ask another reflection kind of question, but is there anything that can't really prepare you for being the head coach until you go through it?
That's really confusing for me. I'm not very smart. I don't understand. Is there anything that can't really prepare?
In other words, you learn obviously for years as an assistant coach, as a coordinator, you study under great coaches.
Oh, yeah,
but once you step into the job for the first time, it's like you have to experience and go through it yourself.
I would say definitely, but to say exactly what that is, I can't tell you. I don't really know, but I certainly think there's things that you're not going to do until the first time you do them. And obviously I think you get better at everything you do with experience. I mean, whether you kick a field goal or you go for it, all these game time situations, those were not in my department, but I analyzed and looked at them the same way as if I was the head coach. But until you go out there and do them, I don't think you're ever going to be as good at them, have a feel for it.
I would think, despite being as organized and structured as you are, as most head coaches are, there was still a time early in the season where you probably felt like you were on a treadmill a little bit. Is there a moment in the year where?
Let me tell you something. When you work where I worked for 9 years, you're on a treadmill every day. I mean, that's the life that coaches lead. There's no coach in the country that's not working from 7 in the morning till probably 11 at night, Monday through Thursday in the country. If that's not treadmill, I don't know what is. I mean, so it wasn't like I was swimming. I was doing what I've always done, just added offense into it. I mean, I'd been a part of special teams, so work is work. That stuff's there. I never look at it that way.
Are y'all gonna do anything for all the players that live like too far away from here to get home to their families on Thursday?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of our coaches having kids over to their houses to eat. So they'll have folks over there. We're going to do a team dinner actually on Friday to get everybody back, or a lunch for Thanksgiving. And then some of the players actually take guys home with them. The players within like an hour radius, they'll take guys back with them. And those guys, they enjoy going home with other people to meet their families and that kind of thing, the ones that are far away.
I think Paul Johnson told a story about you interviewing with him at one point in your coaching career. Do you remember that at all? Like early when you were just starting out?
Man, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Where was he?
I think it was Georgia Southern. I think he meant before you went to Valdosta.
You know what? I think I did go down there. I don't know that I think he had some coaches that some defensive coaches that had maybe talked to me about being a GA or come down there and coach right when we finished here. But man, I sure don't remember that. I just remember going to Valdosta and taking the job, but I may have gone over there. I can't say whether I did or I didn't. That's a long time ago, a lot of collisions. I really don't remember if I did. I do remember going to visit Georgia Southern, but I visited Georgia Southern out of high school as a recruit, but it was a different coaching staff.
Last question?
You still deny the 12 man on the field during your job?
Story of the interview?
Yeah,
No, it's 10.
a 10.
Yes, I don't deny that. It was 10. I forgot one.
Oh,
Will
okay.
keeps saying it's 12.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And vice versa.
I only heard Will's version, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that was a true statement. There was 10 up there. It was a Kevin Ramsey defense at the time, is all I knew, because I was GA here. So, y'all probably don't remember him.
I don't know. I know Bryce Ramsey. I know.
You guys do?
Thanks.